I have one more, our next phase of our activities coming up now. It will be another interesting session on a newly developing subject of integrated medicine related to the ophthalmology. So he's one of our, Dr. Chandrasekhar, now going to present about his practice, his concepts, and how he handles ophthalmologist as his special area of activities, and how he handles and what are the his views to study and approach integrative medicine as a one of the its approach to take care of this problem. So please, I request Dr. Chandrasekhar now take over and start your presentation.
Thank you, Subrata. I request Dr. Anirban to show the slides, I think. So. Anirban?
Anirban, you have to share the slides.
Share the computer.
Yeah, just 1 second.
1 minute. I'll start. No problem. Yeah, can you
Either way.
see?
Yes,
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
I did it.
visible. I think you can do it.
I think it's better.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Pranam Swamiji and all the research colleagues of Ceramid. Ophthalmology, how it's going to practice the integrated medical practice. It is the bilateral, like a doctor and the patient need to follow the Raja Yoga, because we come across a lot of problems and we interact with the patients. So in that context, I'm going to present this practical approach of integrated medical practice in ophthalmology. Before going to this, the probably many people are new in this group. So I just go in the order like holistic integrated medical practice. What do you mean by that? And holistic integrated ophthalmologically, how we can practice. And different assessment we need to do before managing in the holistic approach. So holistic approaches in the management of ophthalmology cases, how I am handling. So at last I'm going to submit this summary. Okay. Holistic integrated medical practice, all this is the humankind suffer lot of diseases like psychosomatic and other diseases, how the mind takes. So this is all with the mind. The mind is one, thoughts are very much different. One part of the mind draws towards the worldly attraction, remains in the lower level of existence. And another will go to the spiritual thoughts and goes to the higher level. And those persons will be calm and quiet. They can understand better. That is what it is. A book which is published by the Swami Tattva. This is the one book, Tadgatananda, The Relief of Tension and Depression and Anxiety. This is a good book, wherein this professor from Los Angeles Harbor College, he says integrated Western medicine, psychology, science with the framework of Vedantic tradition. That is what we really discussing in this forum or a flat forum. High potency medicines for our mental and emotional illnesses are all through our yoga therapy. The major benefit are long lasting without toxic side effects. I have not heard as on today, all these yogas are given anybody the side effects in that context. Okay. Holistic integrated medical practice does not provide a single remedy of talking prescribed medicine for a specific period in order to heal an illness. What do you mean by this is, as Dr. Sushil Sharma and Swami Dayadipananji and others said, it is very long, slow, continuous process of practicing yoga, diet, thoughts, all those things are we need to practice in a long course. So purified control higher mind is characterized by truth. That is what present days, as Bhagavan Ramakrishna says, this is Satya Yuga. We need to practice Satya, Satya, Satya. That is what it is. So, purified mind always uh, takes up the mind, body, soul in a conditioned level. So, especially in case of ophthalmological practice, 90% of men's perception is from the outside the world, comes from the visual sense. In Panchendriyas, five sense organs, the eye or the vision is the highest inputting device, I can say. When the patient become blind is equivalent to death in the second level. So in that context, lot of things are put into the body and mind, thereby soul is disconnected. In that sense, I can say in 20th century ophthalmology has been taken a lot of advanced technology as well as in practice as in the industry, and now people take a lot of benefits in ophthalmology. Before going to how I am practicing holistic medicine, some quotes I wanted to just tell you. Prevention is better than cure. That everybody knows about it. But when I'll take one small example here, when a child doesn't see the blackboard properly, he will copy from the side boy. He does so many mistakes. If he's brought into the hospital for an eye surgeon and his vision is corrected, he will not become dull in his curriculum. So that is how. When the uh, person doesn't see the blackboard properly, so he can do a lot of mistakes. That is what prevention is better than cure. And some patient come in a late stages of cataract, that is called a lens induced glaucoma. That cataract is the opacification of the normal clear lens. If you leave it for a longer time, that becomes ruptured inside, they will have pain and they lose their visions. In that context, I just said prevention is better than cure. Healthy mind, all these lectures, previous discussions said about the healthy life living, healthy food intake, healthy practice in a Raja Yogic manner. So natural healing force within us is a greatest force in getting well. This is what every person has got healing force, especially in this COVID situation. We can say that I am all right, nothing will happen. This is the healing force that everyone has inside. Everything is excess is opposed by the nature. So food we take, thoughts we take, listening to, seeing to, so many, all these things are going to against the nature. That will not be good. Walking is the best medicine. That's what Swami Dayanandji has practiced. Before you will ask someone or her willing to give up the things that makes him or her sick. I will just tell, a cataract patient is there. Unless the patient wills, he will not come to the hospital. That is what it is means. So anything that makes you weak, discard like a poison. So anything that making the problem in our routine life, like a vision, that is a cataract, or I cannot able to see, I have developed a glaucoma. So we need to handle it immediately. If I want to suffer, if I doesn't want to suffer from that, you have to discard that suffering like a poison. That is why you need to approach the ophthalmologist. Whatever that art of medicine is loved, there is also a love for humanity. We need to love our profession. We love to serve the people in a humanity manners. So remedy for weakness is not boarding over it, but it is thinking of strength that is already within them. What mind can't see, you cannot see. That is what we think of, what is holistic medicine. So we cannot teach the our patients. That is what it is. So I will just go through the few slides before I handle a case in a holistic manner. I need to assess the physical assessment, social assessment, emotional assessment, and spiritual assessment. We can call this as a physical quotient, social quotient, or emotional quotient, or spiritual quotient. Okay. Before going to this physical assessment, I manage surgically or medically. I need all these important things, history taking, whether he can hear or not, whether he can speak or not, whether he is a disability. Because when I operate on them on a supine position, if he has got any problem in the neck, I cannot operate. I have to take these special precautions. When diabetes and hypertension are there, that is, we need to handle it in a very different manner. As far as the examination is concerned, I examine the body as a whole, and investigations I do it, general investigation, ophthalmological investigation to confirm the diagnosis. Before that, we need to explain the patients that I am going to do. After confirming the diagnosis, I go for the management. Then it is a medical management or surgical management. Those things are going to help for me. And a social assessment is very important when you want to practice holistic ophthalmological practice. What is the state of education? How I can explain in their own languages what I'm going to do. That is what it is, needs the education. Are they capable of understanding? That is also education. Okay, whether he is very much ignorant of what is happening to him or is know about it by other doctors. These are all very important. Family background, whether he is alone or somebody is there, or it is somebody is taking care of, it is a group family or isolated family. These are all. What is the socio-economical status? I cannot tell them the higher cost lenses for him. If he is a poor, I have to do him free or at the lower cost. Whether he is a cleanliness, eye is very sensitive organ. We need to know his cleanliness status. Okay. Some of the emotional assessment or quotients that I need to take before I treat medically or surgically. What is his behavior? What is his personality? What is his capability? What is his job? What is his emotional level? When they come to the hospital, they'll be much emotional. They'll be having a fear. They will have a phobia because it will be heard by others saying that eye operation is painful. When they are going to eye surgeon, they are going to give the glasses. So, and there are a lot of stress and anxiety. What they are going to do, how they are going to do. Eye is a sensitive organ, whether it is going to pain me or not. And some of the emotional, like temperament, that I need to assess. What is the temperament? Some people will be very short-tempered. They cannot wait even in the waiting hall. They cannot wait in the preoperative room, where they cannot wait in the operation theater. Then I need to plan, keep everything ready, then I do it, and then I can send him. And some of the abused cases like alcoholic, tobacco chewing, a lot of things are there like abuse. So I need to go through them. So I'll go to the spiritual level of assessment. That is gnana. What is the gnana? What is the understanding capacity? What is his violent or the arrogant or temperament, calm, cool, whether he's devotee or he's followed some sadhus, whether he follows some God, what is his attitude towards their family, himself, what is his humbleness. In India, where I'm practicing in Taluka place, all still they have an attitude as doctor as God, like that. That is all comes only in the spiritual mind. That is what it is, the spiritual understanding. Some of the words that we need to know in the practice of holistic integrated ophthalmological or in general, this is a love, whether it is a conditioned love or the divine love. Doctor, whatever you do it, I am ready to accept it. I have love with you. I mean, love in the sense, divine love. Compassion, doctor, I know you take extraordinary care for every patient, not for me. Truthfulness, what I'm going to do, that they have to trust. One has to have the trust on himself, trust on the attenders that he has come to the hospital, doctors and the staff. Probably some way, some in the hospitals, they might have lost the trust on doctors, might have staff or in the attenders. In that sense, I am going to assess the confidence level. Yes, I am going to undergo the operations, because sometimes he'll be brought to the doctor by force. So he should have the confidence of on the doctors also, and spiritual touch. Now the COVID has come. I cannot tap his shoulders. So even if you touch the patient, they feel, yeah, doctors belongs to me. So emotional touch, see body languages. So all these things are going to understand the patient and doctor's relation or integrated holistic medical practice. And positive energy. What is the level of his positive energy that he has got? Empathy. These are all. And familiarization. Earlier, the practice was going like this. Family physicians. Oh, he knows about my family. Everybody, he knows what is allergy, what is the good, what is not good, what is our family status. So these are all the things. After that, they are going to refer to the particular doctor. So this, and patient should accept us, and homely atmosphere should be there in our waiting hall, in our staff, in me, in our chamber. Oh, acceptance and self-esteem, self-healing. All these things are much considerable assessments as you treat patient as a whole. And some of the stresses which patients bring along with them, pre-existing ideas, pre-existing false ideas, pre-existing misconceptions. So these are all the things which are going to give them a lot of stress. That is the fear of pain, fear of loss of vision, losing their vision. They might have heard, one of my street person has gone to a doctor, he has lost his vision. They must not be knowing what is the reason for the loss of vision. So that is the fear, the stress that is there in the family. And when I undergo the surgery, whether the family members are going to support me or not, and financially, socially, and fear of dependency, especially in the old age when they become blind, whether I'm going to depend on somebody, I'm going to burden to the society, or economically I'm going to burden to the children's or parents, whatever it is like. So some of the holistic approaches in the management of ophthalmological practice, there are various means, by music, by yoga, by counseling, by relaxation techniques. So I just want to go one by one. The music therapy, everybody can assess by themselves. A child walks in the street or the house by singing whatever the way he wants, he's going to sing. That makes the relaxation. So meditational songs, meditational music, instrumentation music, a good lyrics, a good melody, a lot of ragas are particularly in particular ragas are going to treat the devotional approach, the peaceful approach, like various ragas are going to impress upon the patients or the attenders. In this context, I'm using in my OPD hall all Swami Purushottomanji's devotional songs, because I am a devotee of Swami Purushottomanji, disabled. I mean, and investigations room, they should have relaxed state. So all these musics are going to helpful. Operation theater, this is wonderfully helping me and my patients. They relax. How I am going to assess this? Because it is evidence-based medical practice. Now the pulse oximeter is there. I keep the pulse oximeter. I ask one of my sister to look into what is the pulse rate, what is his anxiety level, what is his oxygen level. I'll be relaxed looking at that. And some of one incident I just wanted to share here. It is funny. One of the VIP getting operated, and I was singing, I was operating, the music was running, and the outside it is displayed, the live surgery display will be there. So that patient attender said, calling sister, off the music, he's going to cut something else, he may be going wrong. And then sister said, no, when he sings, he will do perfectly. That is what it is. And some of the patients will have their pulse rate comes to 80, 60. Otherwise, it will shoot up to 120 also. That is how in under attenders lobby, some of the hospitals, they have got meditational halls also. And yoga therapy, in particular to ophthalmology, I can say Brahmari exercise is a good for headache. And those who have got a computer vision syndrome, I ask them to sit in a Vajrasana on a laptop. I mean, let them look into the laptop. And Shavasana, it is the Raja of asanas. Many people doesn't know how to do Shavasana. Mind and body should be in the rest and in the neutral position. I teach them, and I pranayama. When they are in a very anxious state, I tell them, go sit outside, do pranayama. I have taught our sisters also to teach them. And Sukhasana. Many people are nowadays, old age people, they have undergone knee replacement. I cannot tell them Vajrasana, I tell them Sukhasana. So these are all the some of the yogic practices. They are going to so much helpful in our ophthalmology. Subrato or Anirban, whenever the time is up, you can just remind me. Okay, counseling is very important, as I have done my ophthalmology. Pardon?
Please continue, Dr. Chandrasekhar.
Yes,
We have another 3 minutes.
Yes. Okay, no problem. As I have done my ophthalmology specialization, I have done my MS in ophthalmology and counseling, for psychotherapy and counseling. So I know the art of counseling. So treatment aspects, follow-up aspects, problem anticipated and their solutions. Nowadays, looking at the Google, patients will have a lot of disturbances in their mind as far as the doctor and treatments are concerned. So family caretaking counseling is also important. After I do the surgery, taking care at home is very important. Hippocrates says that mere medicine is not going to cure or free from the ill of the patient. It is associated nursing care of the attenders, medicine, their mental status, environment is very important. They are in the clean environment. So in earlier days, all the tuberculosis patients used to keep in a best environment. All those things were there. And what the food that need to give, what is the rest, all these things are very much important. And many of the patients, they come with the anxiety, then I tell them pranayama, shavasana, JPMR. This is a new term probably. This is Jacobson progressive muscular relaxation. It is one technique in counseling and psychotherapy. And slow walking, that is called meditational walking. when they get operated, I tell them walk slowly at the home itself. Okay, and the hydrotherapy, this is very surprising probably. Many of the computer vision syndrome people, they don't drink much water because they sit in front of the computer. If they drink more water, they have to go to the toilet, washroom frequently. That is why they avoid, but they doesn't know what is the importance of the water intake. So external and internal, you can quickly go off, take bath. Sometimes when you are under tension, put the water onto the leg, you will be relaxed. Evening, every Indian goes to the puja room, take the face wash and worship. So all these things are very much important. And water intake, this is very, very important. Of course, it is, has to be tighter depending upon the renal problem and all that. But minimum 5 liters of water need to be taken. What is the quantity? What is the quality? And many people that doesn't know. If you ask them to drink more water after the food also they take, that is very bad. So all those things I need to tell them. And nutritional therapy in my group, there are many people, they're nutritionalists, but and sattvic food, I can tell them that can cure the diseases, they can feed, everything is fine. And misconception I wanted to highlight here, many people are says that milk is not good after the operation. It is, it will be get infected. That is what, it is 100% wrong. If they are good, if somebody has advised them the milk, they can take. It is no way related to the eye operation. So holistic manner that I need to take before taking food, say mantra, and then take, because, and when you submit that prasadam to the God, we prepare in a nice manner. And you have to take the food with the good thoughts. That is also there. So nutritional therapy, they are going to do that job, but I just wanted to highlight this. And transformation, attitude changing, these things. Post-operatively, I talk to the patients. I'm just telling few things. When you go to home, your eyes are visible. So don't trouble the caretakers like daughter-in-law, son-in-law, son, daughter. Don't, hey, you clean that, you clean this. So don't do that. You do speak very kind words. So if at all, if you want the eye drops to be put into your eyes, you need to call somebody, probably son, daughter-in-law, ask her, feed the baby, then come. Feed the husband, then come. So your attitude towards daughter-in-law or son-in-law, rapport will increase. Attitude are going to change, and they are going to support you. They are going to cooperate you. They will have the patience better than you, and they feel that you are not dependent. And be good and do good. This is Swami Vivekananda's quote. So in this context, our attitude are going to change. Strength is a life, weakness is the death. Expansion is the life and contraction is the death. Love is life, hatredness is death. Love and hatredness, Dr. B.M. Hegde is going to highlight this particular topics so much. Why I added this slide? Just to add, Swami Vivekananda's thoughts are so helpful in holistic approach. The greatest sin is to think of yourself weak. I tell my all old age people, I am weak, I have old age, I don't have anything. Sometimes they come in a tendency of suiciding. Give me a poison, I'm going to die of, because suffering. Because there are a lot of suffering. Over to that, there is a vision loss also, temporary vision loss. So in that, in summary, holistic integrated ophthalmic association is innovation, revolution. Now it is a need of an hour. So many people should know about the integrated medical practice, and it should reach many people. Now, I think how many people are there, I don't know how many participants, but who are all participated this. I think with my 31 years experience, I have put up in a nutshell. Pranam to Swamiji, who has introduced, Swami Dayadeepanandji, who has introduced to this group. Thanks to our team, Ceramid, who has helped me to prepare this slide and present. And thanks for Anirban, and thanks for Sabrit, and thank you one and all. God bless everybody. Take care of COVID, nothing to do with our willpower. Okay, stay well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions are there? I think I
Yeah.
need to answer as per the Sabrit said.
Sir,
I don't know what questions.
sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question. Sir, people say that even distorted vision. That means once you start getting that, you have to wear specs, right? So, is
Pardon,
it?
I couldn't.
I mean, once you have problem with your eyes, you wear
Yes.
spectacles, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, is that reversible? Can I reverse that?
By naturally.
Yeah, I mean naturally, yes. By practice or
In
some.
Swami Vivekananda Institute of Yoga Therapy from Bangalore, they have done some research. 0.5 to 0.75 may be negligible. In case if it is a old age, if they're reversible, they should think that they are developing a cataract. Don't take it in a granted that I am all right. Probably they may be visible for the near, but probably distance they will not be having it. They are developing cataract. Okay. Are you clear, Anirban?
No, I mean, if I have a power of 2.5 minus, then
Yes, you want to
can
get
I?
rid of?
Yeah, I can get. Can I get rid of it naturally?
No.
Okay, but there is no way I can,
No.
do
There are a lot of
exercise.
conspiracies.
Yeah.
They're wearing contact lenses, they may be, but still are in experimental stage.
Okay.
Subrata wanted to ask something.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Chandrasekhar, making such a wonderful, very specific presentation. I never heard an ophthalmologist giving a 360-degree view of any disease and how it is managed. So thank you, Dr. Chandrasekhar, from your experience, and it was really very helpful for the SEDIMED platform. I have I came across some technique of almost 100 years back. Dr. Bates, he proposed better vision without glasses. You have seen it that you can improve your vision without glasses following this kind of practice?
No.
Okay.
I
one
can
of
tell you
the,
one more thing. With my experience,
yeah.
those who are taking the good food, yoga practice, they come and approach, their cataract development is very, very late, I can say. Those who are practicing yogic life, the good sattvic food, their development of cataract is too late. They come when very late. And some people die without getting cataract also, I can say in this way. Subrata sir?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your wonderful presentation
questions?
again. Is there any other questions? Yeah.
Any
I
chat
request
box?
any other questions if you have.
Chat box questions?
All
Anirban has to tell.
Can I
Yes.
ask a question?
Yeah, Swamiji. Pranam, Swamiji.
Many of the times when people reach any doctor, physician, after ruling out everything for headache,
Yes.
they refer to ophthalmologist.
Yes.
So what is your experience in treating the patients with headache with holistic approach?
Yes, Swamiji. Whenever the patient comes to the ophthalmologist as a headache, we need to categorize or divide it into two. One is an organic condition, another is a functional condition. When it is an organic condition, again, there will be so many things, like a hypertensive will have the headache. Okay, refractive error, headache. So probably intracranial space occupying lesion, an organic lesion, we need to diagnose it properly. Then only we can go into the holistic approach, wherein it is called tension
Okay,
headache,
I'll
stress
help.
induced headache.
I'll help you with the question. Yes, all the organic causes for the headache are ruled out,
Yes.
including eye. What's your holistic approach for the treatment of headache,
Yes, Samjit.
please?
It is the pranayama and Brahmari exercises, attitudinal changes, food, especially the food. Many people they take a lot of spices in spite of their problems. So they go on getting the headache. They meet so many doctors. I will tell you, for simple hyperacidity, they go for CT, MRI scan, whatnot, neurophysician, neuroconsultant, so many. Then after they come to me, I look into them, I tell them the food. I tell them my own experience. Since 35 years, I take only two foods. Morning I take one chapati. 75% of all raw vegetables, powdered seeds, fruits. I take lot of water. I drink 3 to 4 liters of buttermilk every day. Even in my consultation, thin buttermilk I take. It should have the less nutritional value, lot of minerals and water. That is what I approach. And even the dehydration people, they get headache, uneasiness. So they will be all right by the hydrotherapy, water intake, taking bath and all those things. Swamiji, I think you got the answer, Swamiji.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, in your practice, after ruling out the organic cause for headache,
Yes,
uh,
Swamiji.
the lifestyle changes
Yes,
in
Swamiji.
order to tackle with diet and exercise and yoga is help. Thank you.
Yes, sir. 100% Swamiji.
Thank you. Subratoji?
Yes, yes. I just looking for any other queries are there on this talk. Otherwise, I'll request to Anirban to tell few words and we may conclude after that. We are already running 15 minutes or 20 minutes beyond time, but it's a very, very special talk today and very wonderful gathering with all those eminent personalities. I thank all of them to participate and the speakers who came and shared their experience in this SediMed platform. Over to Anirban, please. Anirban, you are muted. You are muted.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Right.
I can see Swami Dayadathanandaji. I can see Dr. Ravikant there in
Okay. Can
on
we
the.
can you request him to give his
I
words?
Yeah, no. I am asking to start his video and unmute, but there's no response. I'm not able to exactly. But his window appears, Dr.
Yeah,
Ravikant.
he sent me a message. There was some emergency. One of his neighbor met with an accident. Maybe
Okay,
he
okay.
had to run away.
Okay,
He
maybe his
sent me a
video is on.
message.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe his link is still on.
Doctor, are you there? Are you there?
I don't think because he's not responding when I'm sending him messages,
Okay,
which is
okay.
all I can do.
I'll convey your message.
Yeah,
Can you just convey your message? I'll put on the speaker.
yeah, I can. I am doing that, but he's not responding.
No, no, on the speaker. I'm putting on the speaker. You just convey. They'll be able to listen. Yeah. Just please give me your message in 1 minute. What holistic medicine means for you, and you have seen our program very closely. What is your message from All India Institute of Medical Science, Head of the Department, Metabolism and Endocrinology, Dr. Ravikant, please.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please.
Yeah, so
Yes.
very warm good evening to all the participants from here and abroad. And the first moment for me to meet you all. And I am so much interested in this holistic medicine course that is being developed by Swamiji. And in fact, we are practicing on this concept of holistic medicine. And to me, holistic medicine is the way forward, not only for the cure of disease, but care of disease as well as preventing it. So the holistic medicine is the only way out which can arrest the disease in its primordial manner. And to me, it appears it's a combination of physical, mental, spiritual, and social well-being. We have to really find out the way for a particular person or a patient how he or she can remain fit in otherwise unhealthy environment. It's not only incorporates physical, but rather more so spiritual as well as mental faculty. So I am fully devoted towards this because I have always listened to eminent cardiologists, and I am of the personal opinion that preventive or taking out a tumor or especially prevention to certain diseases or some medicine from outside is not the way forward, and rather we have to think in a different manner. Also, the different bacteria to devote the knowledge that we have gained throughout our, medical fraternity or the courses that we have gone through, rather than people start to accumulate various expertise or various studies which are scientifically proven and accepted for years together. That is what holistic medicine needs to be. And this really is the key to curb the disease, and especially the lifestyle diseases like cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, metabolic disorders, and of course, longevity will be enhanced by medicine. So I'm very happy to listen from Swami that he has conceived this idea and he is, communicating and he is coordinating this with his workers who are, involved in this field. And it gives me energetic impetus to incorporate and contribute my efforts, whatever they are, whatever capacity I am capable of giving, to the extent maximum possible as of my chair and my capability. I am devoted to this development as well as implementation. Over to Swami for the
Thank you, Dr. Ravikantji, for your wonderful message. As a head of the Department of Metabolism and Medicine, AIIMS Rishikesh, your words mean a lot. Yes, we are working together and we will continue to work together. Now, Cerimed has joined us. We will be having many more online courses where we will invite you specially for a talk in future. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks to Dr. Ravikant.
Yeah. So one of his neighbor had some major accident suddenly. He had to leave. So anyway, he has given his message and he's working with us. And now Cerimed, Ramakrishna Mission, Dr. Sushil, Dr. Chandrasekhar, and AIIMS Rishikesh and Patanjali. We are together. Wherever we need, they will log in, and our goal is to serve at the highest, serve with highest devotion, serve with highest efficiency. Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. Our work should become so efficient. In return, samatvam yoga uchyate. That will help us to bring tranquility physically, mentally in us and people around us. That's my message. Over to Anirban.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Swamiji. I would like Dr. Subrata to say a few words before we close, or do we have anyone wanting to speak anything further?
I think Anirban, you can go ahead. We have not many participants. Please go ahead, Anirban.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Subrata. Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you, Dr. Sushil. Thank you, Dr. Chandrasekhar, and all the dignitaries who were present today for our meeting. And as I can see that the way our endeavor is moving, it is perfectly moving in the right direction. And as I said earlier, that if we are able to bring in more and more people into this fold, we will be doing good for the people, doing good for the mankind. So let's hope for all the best, and let's look forward for 17th September. I would again request you, all of you, to use your network, forward these messages so that everyone can log in and we can have a good, strong database with which we start on 17th September. And we can hear these two eminent gentlemen and then further chart a course for all of us for those next 8 weeks so that we can make all of us healthy and thereby spread this word. With these words, thank you very much, and that's all for today. Thank you very much.
Special thanks to Swami Tapu Yajnananda, who has joined us from Brazil, Sao Paulo, and he's very keen to take this program to Brazil, and Sarimad will do it.
Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you,
Swamiji.
Swamiji.
Unmute. So, Swamiji, special thanks to you, and Sarimad will bring this program to Brazil.
Okay. Pranam Swamiji.
Thank you.
Okay, we are there.
Namaste to you all. Namaste to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste.